Okay, so who do we have here? Good morning, Ms. Harris.
Morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with prostitution. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. An undercover officer located an ad on a popular escort site and texted a phone number that was listed in the ad. The officer engaged in a brief FaceTime screening with the defendant where she agreed to straight sex for $220, and the officer provided the defendant with the room number. The officer waited for the defendant to arrive, and when she did, the two again agreed for straight sex for the previously agreed upon price.
Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to engage in like behavior. You understand? If you do, you pick up a new case, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Can I give you an appointed lawyer today? Okay. I need you to fill out an application for me. We'll have you fill it out. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. Do not leave until we find you a lawyer though. Okay, ma'am? Okay, please.
Thank you.
Hi. Good morning.
Mr. Lopez, who is not on docket, but his probation discharge is in your queue for signature. He has completed everything successfully.
Wonderful. Is he here?
Yes. Mr. Lopez?
So we're done. What do we learn?
You don't challenge the system. You stay on task. You stay focused. You stay busy. It's 5 years worth of lessons, Your Honor. It's
Been on it for a long time. So if there's anything that you're going to take away here, don't get into a car when you've had anything to smoke, when you've had anything to drink, because you got to understand you're now facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. And with your record, you ever get pulled over and they smell something funky, whatever it may be, it's probably not going to go very well. You know what I mean?
sir.
You look great. I'm glad that you've completed successfully. Thankfully, she has been tenacious in your representation to see this through, because I'm going to tell you now, there are not many lawyers who would act as Ms. Phillips has done to see this all the way through. So I hope you really appreciate what she has done, because she's done a lot.
I very much recognize that.
And you've done a great job. And
Thank you, Judge. She's been an exceptional client as well.
well, we've had a lot of issues, but I'm glad that you've finally gotten it done. You're not in jail. But remember this, the thing about this is you're going to forget about us. Time heals all wounds, but the law is a jealous mistress that she's on your back for the rest of your life. Gnawing, clawing. She's never going to forget about you. You get pulled over, you're 81 years old. You smell funky. They don't care. You're going to end up in jail. Remember that. All right. Good job. I'm glad you got it done. Take care, Mr. Lopez.
Sir.
Thanks. Good job. You too. Counsel.
Morning, Your Honor.
Hi.
Ask a minor indulgence. My paralegal is here and she's planning to go to law school. So I was wondering if she'd come up and just see how the sausage is
Yes,
made.
absolutely.
I think I've been before you before. My name's Sam Marshall with Beacon Law. So.
Hi. Oh, great. We
Record
love
sealing.
Beacon Law. You guys do a great job.
This is Jackie. She's my paralegal.
Hi.
She's fantastic.
Hi.
Her hope was that this would be a very contentious non-disclosure with the state opposed and get to see the exciting stuff. However, we're disappointed by the state being reasonable, and it's my understanding that they're not opposed.
And we're unopposed to the motion.
Even if they were opposed, and what I like to tell them always, I am ecstatic when someone wants to better themselves. Who am I to step in anyone's way when they want to better themselves? I know that, before in life, I've been in front of a judge and I represented a 19-year-old who had I don't want to go through it, but picked up one case, successfully completed the deferred, and I go up to do a non-disclosure and she denies it. I shouldn't even say what, but so it got denied. And I looked at her, I'm like, why? She's 19, never been in trouble after the fact. All she's trying to do is better herself. And it was just for the sake of being able to say the word deny. And it really drove me up the wall. It sucks. So I'm glad that they're getting it. You know, that's great. And for you, there's no better thing than law school. Even if you don't practice law, the amount of information you learn from going to law school, it's insane. No one can take you for a ride ever. So I would wholeheartedly, absolutely 100% encourage you to go. It's expensive, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? It's hard to become a lawyer. And that's what's so great about the profession, because if you can do it and you get out and you treat the law well, I have a friend that got a $400 million judgment, 300 million, it was something like that. He can buy an island, you know? So you treat it well, it'll pay back in dividends. Yeah, so good luck.
So the case that we have today is Fritz. It's the cause number that is very different from all the others because it's from 1994.
Wow. Yeah, I'll sign it. I have it here and we got it. And then we can give you a copy of it as well.
Certified copy.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank
And you're welcome to hang out here anytime and watch and see and learn, you know?
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. You too. Mr. Horn.
We're trying to do a pre-qualifying with you. This is involving Jennifer Gonzalez. Okay. I don't know how to be as succinct, but I'll try to be as succinct as I can. The court may recall that she has a PCS that's arising in the same incident that was over there. James Mount and Melissa over the Rip Court and I, we had a powwow yesterday for about 45 minutes to try to decide what was going to happen here. And I'm trying to short circuit things. At the end of it all, we come out this morning. They're going to dismiss the PCS as long as she pleads here. They're allowing her to plead to a time served over here.
I'm not on the second. Sorry,
If you.
not on the second.
That's.
No. If she wants a PTI or if she wants a probation, okay. I think 30 is what we typically do on a second, but not time served.
Now, the first one was some time ago, Judge, like.
I understand.
12 years ago.
I get it. But,
So,
and she had violations while she's on, right?
well, there weren't violations that couldn't be excused or explained because what happens is she takes Adderall. And so that's what I think the issue was.
No, I'm sorry, not on that second. And it's not just you. It's just, I have before, and people have ran, like literally the week after, they wrapped their car around the pole
So
and
if I can, and it may or may not impact your decision, you know, she does not have a license, does not drive. Okay, she has that scooter that she's on that we talked about that's under 8 horsepower, whatever it is.
is it one of those Costco scooters that you cannot take on the street?
Yes, you can't really get on the street with it, Judge. It's not one of those, and she has a license and has not had one. Okay. Now, I know there's going to be an imposition of a suspension of any license that she may have. I know that will be coming at her. The big issue with the probation, because that's one of the things that we first had talked about. She has to take care, and she's the sole provider for an elderly father. She doesn't drive, is unable to drive him back and forth and everything, but he depends like 100% on her. Now, my concern with the probation, and it was the thing that we kind of tossed about yesterday, is if she's forced to be in a position of making a decision of doing something for her dad versus appear for a urine test or appear for an office visit or something like that, she's going to defer and say, I'm going to take care of my dad. My dad's life means more than me reporting.
Probation will never interfere with anything that someone has to do for work, caring for another person. They will always work around. So if she gets called in for a drug test, all she has to do is say, hey, I can't come. You know, I can come tomorrow. They're not going to give you grace of a week, right? But it's got to be something reasonable. The next day, perhaps a couple hours down the road, but they're never going to leave you high and dry to where they're going to do anything like that. I can allow, if she does well, after the first couple months, I can allow virtual reporting as well, so that she can report via Zoom, you know, if she's doing well. she will still have to, I mean, she's going to have a guardian interlock, right? Because that's what we do on all probations, especially on the second. So
But she doesn't have victim doesn't drive, doesn't have a license.
She'll have a
There's a monitor on her. Can I have her come forward?
Sure.
Come forward, Mrs. Alves, if you don't mind.
she's got a monitor ankle and I'm paying for it now, right?
And it is killing her leg.
We'll take that off. We'll give her a portable device. Yeah.
That has to be modified because it doesn't look good at all.
Her looks is the least of my concern.
It's painful, Judge, what I'm saying. It's painful.
Hello, Judge.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you.
What we had discussed, Judge, just so in the interest of full disclosure analysis, we're talking, Marissa had agreed to have a plea to the DWI probation with the terms, including the treatment that's been recommended by the TRAS and all this type of stuff, which we had agreed that would be one of the ways to resolve it. And that would still have them dismiss the PCS. But once we talked about the idea of setting her up for failure, if you would, I wasn't comfortable that she would be able, or this court might even be able to accommodate issues that would arise because she couldn't either get to her meeting or
We
get
can
to
always
the
accommodate.
testing.
Always. There's never a way that we can't. Never doesn't work in our vocabulary. And the thing that I want you to understand is that I don't, you now, once you plead, if you plead to this, it's going to go on your record. It is now a second offense. And the last thing we want is for you to graduate to felony status to where you're looking at 2 to 10 in the penitentiary. Right?
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure that you understand that there are consequences to behavior. You need to understand that if you ever get in a car, you smell like alcohol, you smell like dope, they're not going to care whether you're spilling, fall down ass drunk, where you've urinated yourself, whether you're vomit. It doesn't take that for them to file a felony charge on you. Even the faintest smell of alcohol, the faintest droopy eyelids, the faintest sway in the wrong way, they're going to charge you with a felony DWI. And now you're looking at up to 10 years in prison. I, at all costs, want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And in my experience, what I've seen when people have too easy, right? It never works out well. And I don't think that a time served on a DWI second is appropriate. I understand that you may take care of other people. I understand that you may have life issues. Actions have consequences.
So
You not only have this DWI second, but you also have a felony possession of a controlled substance. He's worked a tremendous deal where they're going to dismiss the felony case. I'm going to tell you now, anytime you can avoid a felony, you're winning. Anytime, it doesn't matter. Because once you get that felony conviction, I cannot tell you how many doors that closes. And not only just from potential work, but I'm talking issues with the state, being able to get state resources, funding for things like food stamps, perhaps lose the right to vote. It really closes a lot of doors. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen, So,
Judge,
we usually, now this is a second, you by law must do 5 days in jail as a condition to probation, right? I don't know if you guys have worked out an agreement where they're going to waive that and plead it down to a first, thereby waiving the jail time, but there's mandatory 5 days in jail as a result of this. That's what you need to understand, which is the other consequence of this. Now, if they're willing to do that, I'm certainly okay with that, but time served. And the probation, if you do well in the beginning and you show us that we can trust you, we will allow you to do virtual reporting through Zoom. But we have to know that you're going to do well. There are not going to be any issues. And most importantly, you're not going to use,
absolutely, sir.
because that's what matters.
Yes, sir.
All we're trying to do here is make sure that you don't take a life on the road so that you have enough of a crappy experience here that 15 years down the road, when you're placed in a position where you're intoxicated out there, man, should I get this car? I had such a miserable time in court with that Judge Fleischer. God, I never want that experience again. That's the idea.
Yes,
Because I
sir.
want you to remember me 20 years from now when you're in a position of vulnerability where you make the right decision.
Absolutely.
And
Yes, sir.
hopefully with the probation, we get you to understand.
Absolutely, sir. I agree. It's fine.
Now, you have a probation officer, right? Your probation officer is always willing to work with you. If they call you in for a drug test and you're in some kind of situation where you can't, you let them know. We will give you the line to Shatoria here. She's absolutely an angel, is always willing to help you out. We can give you a direct access to her. If you have a problem, call us, call me, call her, and we will work something out.
Sure.
But there's never a way that we can't work something out. There's always a way. There's always a way. Always.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Give me a minute or two to talk
No
to
rush.
Mike, Judge.
No rush. And I mean, your case, Mr. Knowles, it's only what, like 140 days? Right?
We won't have one today, Judge.
Or you don't have to.
Well, I think we're at that point, so I think just a little conversation, I think we should be able to get.
Okay. For sure.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Wouldn't you decide on Ricardo?
Gonzalez, I want you to understand one thing, that it's not you, it's not your lawyer. He's done a great job and has zealously advocated on your behalf. But on a second DWI, we have proverbial slaps on the wrist for DWI first, right? I get it. People make mistakes. It happens. We all make mistakes in life, right? But you can't continue to make the same mistake and expect the same result and reward, right? Because the proverbial slap on the wrist, the so-called time served, right, is exactly what it is, because you're supposed to do jail time on a DWI, right? And when you're walking out of here, and there's no jail time, it's basically, it's kind of like a reward, right?
Absolutely.
But you can't continue to pick up DWIs and expect rewards. We don't work like that. We don't operate like that. And we want you to learn. And believe it or not, I really care for you. And I want to see you succeed. I want to see you do well. But no more proverbial slaps on the wrist. There now is a lot of baggage that you're going to have on your back following today and for the rest of your life. After today, you're going to have these 2 DWIs on your record. Like I've been harping on you over and over, you get into a car, the slightest smell of whatever it is, they're probably going to take you down and charge you with a felony. And if you thought this was expensive, if you thought this was bad, wait till you get upstairs. There are judges up there that just watch out.
Yes.
Now, you guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 180 days in jail to be probated for 16 months. As part of the conditions, you will do thinking for a change. You will do a repeat offender DWI education class. You will do 2 victim impact panels. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need.
She's completed.
Any recommended agent for a change?
Change.
Okay, well, okay. I'm surprised that no outpatient, no, not necessarily residential, but no outpatient treatment at a minimum. Typically in these cases, when we see these, they usually order, intensive outpatient treatment or supportive outpatient treatment, which is kind of like like AA-ish type issue. So regardless, if that's what they think, then that's what they think. I'm going to follow it. So that's what you must do. No breath test refusal. So if you're pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit a breath test, you must do it. If you don't, you're in violation of the probation. 30 hours of community service and a guardian interlock. Do you have children, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think that you probably be better served to do instead of the dumbass community service, to do like a parenting class, because I think that has more value than just working on the street. Now, like I said, all we want you to do is learn from this, take these classes, take it to heart so that you don't ever come back.
Yes, sir.
If you do well, after some time, I will allow you to report via Zoom, okay? You got to also understand that when you're doing these probations, these probation officers have your life in their hands, right? If you are nice to them, crack a joke with them, if you're their first appointment in the morning, you're probably going to get someone on their good side. If you go in there at 4 PM, you've got a bunch of excuses, right? They're probably not going to be happy. They're going to be irritated. They're going to want to go home. Don't expect any good thing. In life, that's how it goes. If you're nice, you get more with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yes, sir.
Same thing with a probation officer.
Gotcha.
You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you plead guilty, you can never change this or undo this.
Yes,
If
sir.
you violate this probation, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest. We're going to put you in jail, bring you back out, talk about if you violate your probation. If you do, you're looking at 180 days in jail.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Absolutely.
How do you plead to the offense, man? I will find you guilty. I will follow the agreement. Is there an accident in this case, Michael?
No, Judge.
Okay. I have to suspend your license. I'm going to suspend it for a year. Do you have a license now?
No, sir.
Okay. I think that that's probably what we should also do, is try to get her license, Have you ever had a license?
I did have a license. It got suspended with the first DWI. And back then they had a bunch of extra fees. It was the
Surcharges.
so yeah, so I wasn't able to get it back because it was so high. Then they canceled all that out. I had just finished paying off everything to reinstate my license 2 weeks maybe prior to this happening here.
Michael, do you mind running her license?
Yes, Judge.
Did you handle the ALR hearing by chance?
I did not. There
Okay,
was nothing to handle.
On a subsequent, it's usually a 2-year license suspension when it comes with regards to the ALR. So it may very well that you may have a 2-year license suspension.
I do see that she's not eligible, Judge.
ALR,
Yes.
2-year. I mean, it
It
just
says-
depends what happened with the first ALR too.
Well, it actually says that she was suspended because due to no insurance. It says surcharge due, no insurance.
You know when that was, sir?
Did you get a ticket for no insurance?
No, sir. I haven't gotten pulled over. This was the first time in many years.
Let's make sure.
I just know that it began September 15th of 2024, the suspension. And the end date, I think this is in perpetuity until she gets something fixed.
Here, Lonnie, do you mind giving her that piece of paper? This is the driver's license division. The number, will you make sure it's 2600? I don't know if she can read that. I kind of wrote it
It's
funky.
2,600.
It's 2600. That's the number to the driver's license division for DPS. Call them and then they can tell you what you need to do to get your license. But you need to get your license.
Okay, yes, sir.
Just, you gotta get it.
I'm allowed to go get it if I can.
Yeah, of course. But
Thank you.
before you just go do anything, call them first. And when you call them at 7 a.m. Don't call at 8. Don't call at 9. Don't call at 1 because you'll never get through. As soon as the phone line's open at 7, that's when you call.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions?
No, sir.
Judge, there was a couple of things they were asking for the guardian interlocks. She does not drive or anything like that. And she has the monitor on now that's uncomfortable. Can we give her the portable device for now?
So, no. I want to switch it from the Scram to the portable.
Okay.
So, but first get the portable, then we'll take off the Scram.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that you're not using, and the best way, first get that one. As soon as you do that, we'll take the other one off. But we want to make sure that you have that one on first. So yeah,
Absolutely.
one of the conditions on this probation is that you maintain a guardian interlock. Now, because you're not driving, understand that you're going to be signing an affidavit today, promising me you're not going to drive.
Yes, sir.
Do not drive. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care if there's a burning building. It doesn't matter. Just don't drive.
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
The other thing, Judge, and this is by way of refreshing the court's recollection, and there's been no alcohol that was found either in the results from the lab, and there's never been any alcohol associated with this particular DWI. This is one that was based upon
Sure.
some drugs, not even a synergistic type of a matter, it's simply, it was drugs. So just so the court will be aware, there was zero alcohol in the system as a result of this.
Okay. Remember, DWI is not just alcohol. If you take too much NyQuil, what happens?
Yes, sir.
Anything where it affects the normal use of your mental and or physical faculties.
Absolutely.
Right.
Your Honor.
Oh, I think that's it.
That's it. And just so you and I know how serious you take these matters, and I don't want to belabor it, but the idea is that we had already put in place, do you have Brittany's card with you?
It's in my folder.
We had already dealt with the writ court people. There's a program director, Brittany, I can't remember her name now.
Would
But
you like for me to grab it?
no, that's okay. We have a card and everything. So treatment was going to already be a part of
Great.
this agreement, independent of a formal writing, but I think this is the best thing to do in this circumstance.
When's the last time she's been tested? Have you done a test late? Yeah. we need that too. Now, Mr. Knowles, we have one more thing. The surcharge.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to ask that be waived. There's no way that she can afford those things at all. If I need to prove it up, you need to approve up on it, or?
What do you do for a living?
Take care of my father at home.
You get paid by the state for doing that?
No, sir. Because I live with him. I don't know that's what they told me.
How do you get money? How do you survive?
I mean, he gives me whatever I can, and he gets money from Social Security retirement.
What does he get?
2,600 a month, something like that.
So you guys share that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Knowles, I'll waive the DPS surcharge.
The last
Thank
test
you,
was
sir.
on September 19th.
Negative?
I believe what it tested positive for was a prescription that she currently possesses.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just stay clean. That's all we're asking.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right,
Waiving supervision, please, sir?
sure. It's not about the money. It's never about the money.
I know, sir.
Just doing what you say you're going to do
Absolutely.
in the time that you're supposed to do. All right, guys.
Sean,
Good luck.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. Mike, thank
You
you.
have a great
Bless Miss
Thanksgiving.
Gonzalez.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Gonzalez?